thank the incredible Collision team for inviting me to speak today. I consider it an honor to share my heart and what God is doing in the Chicagoland area. This year has instilled in me more than ever that God is sovereign and He is always on time. I truly believe that God is raising up Collision for just a time as this because of what's happening in our culture today. I've been working with teens for about 20 years, starting as a camp counselor when I was in college, and now as a youth leader in our church. And I recently saw a Barna study that confirms the things that I've been seeing for the past 7 to 8 years. If you have the honor of working with teens, you understand that this group of kids is the most self-aware group of kids you've ever worked with. They can self-diagnose, self-identify, self-medicate, and unfortunately self-destruct. But this is leading them to know that they cannot self-deliver. They understand more than ever that they are broken. Barna found that Gen Z is the most open to the gospel compared to any previous generation they've studied. 77% of teens are open to learning about Jesus. God is preparing His harvest. In Matthew 9, Jesus is looking over the crowds of people, and He has compassion, saying, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into His harvest." This passage has always been so sad to me because it's still true today. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And while the Barna research pointed out the good news that the Holy Spirit is working to draw students to Himself, the study also has bad news. There's a lack of discipleship for Gen Z. They're trying to take on discipleship all on their own, which is incredibly sad. The harvest is ready, but we as the American church have failed at making disciples who make disciples. But this is where Collision comes in. Collision is answering this call across the United States, preparing laborers to go out into a mission field that is ready to be introduced to Jesus Christ, the one who came to seek and to save those who are lost. They are filling in the gap, coming alongside churches to help strengthen and train in this area of weakness. The laborers are there. They just need training and encouragement. By supporting churches and youth groups that are already established all around the United States, Collision is training an army of laborers who have already begun to harvest. At Jackson Creek Fellowship Church, where I serve south of Chicago, we started our journey with Collision last November. In just a few short months, our students have jumped at the opportunity to reach their friends and peers. They wanted to take that next step in their faith, and that was to share the gospel with their friends. And so we received the training from Collision as leaders to share with our students. And from that training, we've seen 4 Bible studies started by students in 3 separate schools, and 1 online Bible study resulting in 5 students coming to know Christ and 3 getting baptized in our church. This would have never happened without the help of Collision and the vision they presented that our students started reaching for, that all 32 million students across this country would have the opportunity to hear and respond to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we're just getting started. In the next year, our goal is to start training in 20 churches across the Chicagoland area to spread the gospel and multiply disciples. So, will you be a part of this massive mission? I'm so thankful to be a small part of the revival that is coming to this country. And it's incredible to be part of it and to jump on board. And I invite you tonight to join in this mission by giving, praying, and going. May we see a time when we can say, "The Lord of the harvest sent His laborers." God is doing His part. Will you?